Okay. All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we're going to start. I have a bad or problematic disc in my back, so I've asked John Zabrowski to say, do the prayer, and Hervé to do the salute to the flag. So would everyone please stand?
Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom.
Hervé?
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 29th day of January 2026 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Blamere. Polisi.
Yeah.
Novak. Rios.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Okay, approval of prior minutes, Council President.
I move the following minutes, being the December 8th, 2025, January 1st, 2027, 26 minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blamere.
Yes on January 1st, abstaining December 8th.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes, January 1st, abstain December 8th.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Okay. With that, we go to proclamations and presentations. Well, I'm going to begin with the proclamation. It's the Muslim American Heritage Month. Councilman Blamore.
A proclamation, whereas January, everybody keeps. Bring it close. Yeah. Thank you. Is this better? A proclamation. Whereas January is deemed New Jersey Muslim American Heritage Month by Joint Resolution Number 6 of the New Jersey State Legislature, and whereas Sayreville residents would like to encourage all to highlight and celebrate the history and contributions of American Muslims, and whereas New Jersey is home to nearly 300,000 American Muslims, representing one of the largest Muslim populations of any state, Sayreville has approximately 4,000 Muslim residents. And whereas Muslim Heritage Month not only recognizes the rich cultural contributions of Muslims, but it is also an opportunity to promote the rich diversity of New Jersey, and especially in Sayreville, where the Muslim population increases year after year. And whereas Sayreville encourages a safe, welcoming, and inclusive environment for all. Whereas Sayreville residents honor the anniversary of the death of Yaro Mahmoud, an African-American Muslim, a former slave who overcame great adversity. He purchased his own freedom and became a Muslim leader by embracing freedom to pursue the American dream and the freedom of slaves. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of the Borough of Sayreville, do hereby proclaim January as Muslim American Heritage Month, and I encourage the entire community to learn more about our Muslim neighbors and build more connection with our very diverse community. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the Borough of Sayreville seal to be herein affixed this 29th day of January 2026, signed Mayor Kennedy O'Brien.
Is there a motion?
Move the proclamation be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Blamere.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Imam, would you like to come forward and say some words?
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, Lord of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, and whom we peace, may the peace and blessings of God be in all of them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Kennedy, and City Council of Saraville for this incredible honor of proclaiming Muslim Heritage Month. As the director and imam of Masjid Sadar and Community Center, I am incredibly proud to accept this proclamation on behalf of the Muslim community of Saraville. This recognition highlights the rich contribution Muslims have made to our community, nation, and world in science, art, literature, and so much more. Muslims have contributed significantly to human development and civilization in science, math, in algebra, in medicine, astronomy, and architecture and art. Let's celebrate our heritage, strengthen our community bonds, and continue working towards mutual understanding. Again, I would like to say thank you again, Saraville, for embracing diversity and fostering a welcoming environment for all. And Mr. Mayor, I wish you a great health ahead of you.
Thank you, Imam. Thank you, Imam. Just a note for everyone who climbed the stairs tonight. We have our elevator's about 40 years old, and we had problems in it. When you're in government, there's very strict procurement laws. And we had a contract with an elevator company, and I'm not going to speak ill of anyone, but it didn't work out. So we have the president of Central Jersey Labor Council as a resident, and he made a recommendation to us. Just so you know, I too walked up the stairs tonight with the help of my good friend Glenn Skarzinski. But Glenn, if you would give a brief report on the elevator, because it's been a long time.
We found a great New Jersey-based elevator company. They came out yesterday, did an assessment, and it is their hope that as of close of business tomorrow, the elevator will be repaired. Can't guarantee it, but it looks like that will be the sum and total of that by tomorrow close of business.
So a new year, new blessings. Thank you, my friend, and we move forward. So for a guy like me, the huffing and puffing was certainly beneficial. Not pleasurable, but beneficial. So with that, we'll go to the next business, which is old business.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Architect's presentation.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. You guys are all set up. As you may or may not know, we had a referendum a year ago about saving the firehouse next door. It was from 1909. It served as a firehouse, a police. There are only about 5,000 people in Saraville in 1909. But it served us as a firehouse and a police station and Borough Hall. That was the original Borough Hall. And at the age it is, the big thing we're trying to do, the referendum passed, people wanted it, we wanted it saved. The borough is in need, chronic need of office space, and I'll leave it to American architects, the borough architects.
Yeah, well, fantastic, because I was going to start here. Thank you, Mayor. Is that on?
You.
Very good. All right. Mayor, council, members of the public, my name is Pete Campazano from USA Architects. And with me tonight, Ms. Carrie Zagarsky, our project manager, and Ms. Shannon Perez, our project architect. Our role tonight is to basically give you a status report of where we are from the referendum to today. As you know, the referendum passed, and I think it's wonderful that you're taking an old building, an historic building, and repurposing it and giving it a new birth. I think it's absolutely wonderful. We're very excited about the project. With that, as it stands right now, CME performed the initial Phase 1 environmental assessment report and construction to remove asbestos and all the other hazards. So the building now is free and clear and ready for the next step, which is namely the development of the design, the construction documents, i.e. bid specs, the bidding, and the construction. While CME was working on the environmental and hazardous reports and construction, we were working with your building department, with Mr. Mick and his people, to vet out the existing conditions. As you know, he's down on Dolan Street in the trailers that have served their purpose, but to put good money after bad did not seem prudent. We then looked at their program, the number of people, the requirements, the adjacencies, to verify with Mr. Mick whether or not it would work. And lo and behold, it does. So we have floor plans, schematic floor plans, just to give you an idea as to where we are. We really don't have renderings yet or other things. We know what we want to achieve. We want to pay homage to the original conditions. We actually met with the Historical Society. I think they're going to be invaluable in giving us the history of that. And we've got some ideas, I think, that'll really be nice to take the building, maintain its historical quality, but give it a modern use purpose. That's really the issue that we're trying to achieve. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shannon. Shannon's one of our young architects, and like a teaching hospital, you know, I want my young architects to present, to get that experience. Please be kind to her. If you have any rough questions, come to me.
Pete, before you
Yes, sir,
go,
Mayor.
it's my understanding we're dealing just with the interior, not the exterior tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
tonight. However, let me.
I understand
Okay,
that.
okay.
We'll bring you back.
Good. Yeah, we could come back. Well, I don't want to steal her thunder. She'll go into
Okay.
some of it right now.
Okay.
You ready? All right. Thank you. Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon. Thank you.
Shannon, you got to hold the mic close.
Real close, you got it. So if people are not familiar with the building, this is Main Street. And these triangles here show the main entrance. Currently, what exists is a garage door. And we are showing a vestibule, which leads you into a waiting area, a publicly accessible toilet, a fire pole to bring back some of the history of the building, and then a transition into the office space. So this area here is your publicly facing space, and then beyond this door here is your staff area. What's important to note is that the original floor plan extends only here to here, and that this gray area is an addition in order to accommodate the accessibility needs of modernizing the building to add an elevator, a fire stair, and a third toilet. Yes. Okay, sure.
Thank you. All right, hold on. This better not be on America's Funniest Video.
No.
Say when.
It doesn't show
It
up.
doesn't
It
show
up.
doesn't show up well. We tried that already.
Right.
I'll do it again.
I don't know if it's gonna work.
No.
Try it again.
It's gonna have to come this way along.
Pete,
Yes, sir.
you can put it right in front of the podium.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're moving it.
Yeah. They work.
Wherever you put it, I will make the camera go.
You're the boss.
Sorry.
Stop right
Right
here.
there.
Okay.
Hold on. Not to mention the flimsiest. You good?
Yes. So while we Zoom, one thing I'd like to point out is that this main entrance has also been updated to current accessibility standards with a ramp. And I know that's showing up really lightly on the screen, but this is a ramp, accessible parking plan for this area, and steps where the current apron for the garage is.
Go ahead, Shannon.
I just want to make sure you guys can see.
There we go.
There you go.
The program of the existing code official's office and the square footage of that space is about 3,800. And this space that we're working with here, barring the basement, is about 2,800. So we really had to pare down the program of what they have existing in order to make this work. And I think that's a testament to the people involved doing their best to save this building and modernize this building in keeping with the referendum that passed. With that said, we have some very small offices, a very diminutive conference room. It's about half the size of what they have currently, and a stair that leads you up to a second story, along with an elevator where you have your health inspectors, your code enforcement department, and your construction officials department, fire inspectors, and a very small break room. Currently shown in the break room is the fire pole, looking down on the fire pole. That is a little homage. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, I know that was a bit choppy. I'd be happy to answer them
We'll
now.
do the questions at the end, Shannon. Are you
Sure.
done with the full presentation?
Sure, unless people want to see the basement.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
Kirk, did you want to speak since this
Yes.
is going to be your office?
Give me a second. Let me just get up.
Okay.
Okay.
What? Yeah, I have a walker, you have a cane.
Yeah, I was supposed to have surgery today and it got canceled, but that's neither here nor there. Let me just go to the basement real quick. Is that, I guess I'll explain a little bit more about that we tried to save or consider the historical part of the building. I just really want to just reiterate that we really tried to make this, there's things that we tried to save historically with the older building. We did get a list from the Historical Society of things they want us to save. And we went through it with the professionals. I know the Historical Society wanted things, they had their heart in it, but like stairways and the old ceilings and that, but we went through with the design professionals and with the building officials. I have a fire guy license, so my building inspectors went out there, and there was things that we just couldn't save. And then when we had the hazardous material people come in, those professionals came in, and there was nothing that we could save. They wanted to save the stairways and things like that. I think the exterior of the building, the things that the Historical Society want us to save, bricks and things like that we can actually use, but the interior was unsalvageable. The basement, mold, the ceilings, they did have beautiful, I don't know if it was aluminum or copper ceilings, but it wasn't like the 1800s where it was like half-inch or quarter-inch ceilings. They were thin aluminum clad ceilings that were really destroyed and you couldn't save it. We really, look, Shannon and I went through, and another architect, I forget his name, we went through it, and the building guys went through the stairways that they wanted to save. You had to go one person at a time. The size of me, I was scared to death to go up and down those stairs. There was no way of saving the stairs. So we really tried. And there's things in here like that you had to save. You had to do, I'm sorry, save, but you had to do because there's new ADA rules, accessibility rules, there's new energy code rules that you had to do. So with that being said, like the basement here, we're going to save the existing jail cells, and we're more or less saving them because it's so expensive to try to take them out. You know, they're iron and they're cement. So we're going to save them and try to refurbish them as best we can to save them. These ceilings are too low to have people there, but we're going to use them for your boilers or storage. We're not sure how we're going to heat them or not, but we're going to use it for storage, IT, closets, and the elevator room and things like that. So we're going to use it for storage. Like we said, it doesn't work perfectly for our office, but we cut down the size of the conference rooms. We cut down the size of some offices to make them work. And also, I just want to reiterate that the trailers we have now are over 40 years old. They leak. The side fascia boards are all leaking, and we've been pouring money into them. And we just had, not with the storm, but we had a prior rainstorm. We had in our conference room, we had 3 inches of water. And, we're going to throw 20 grand into fixing the ceiling and fixing the boards. They're 40 years old. They were 20 years old when we got them 20 years ago. So, it's not working. If you go back behind my building, look at the parking lot there with the potholes and things like that, it's not feasible. Like, we have to do something. And if it's not this building, it's going to have to be something else. So again, we're going to go here and just real quick, like this tower here that they're going to install, it's because we need ADA bathrooms. We need to have an elevator. And so that's going to be like on the side where the parking lot is. This ramp here where the front, we have to build a ramp here because of ADA, because of accessibility. This vestibule we're going to put in, but also we're going to put in, because we think that, and we talked with Frank about it, is putting maybe in some glass exhibition here where maybe we could put some stuff in there that from the Historical Society, some things where maybe people could come in and look at it, or when people come in for permits or the waiting area, they can look at something historical. And we're going to try to figure out, this is a work in progress. Like Mayor and Council, this is the first time they're seeing it. We did send something to Mary, but they haven't seen this. No one has seen this. This is the first, this is really in its infancy. And we're just, and even now, even though that we have this, I think what we're asking for council tonight is for Jay to move further for a structural study to see if this even works. Because even though we have this here, there might be structural issues where we can't have an office here, or we can't have it. We don't even know if this works yet. So what we're looking for probably tonight, and Peter probably know more about it, is to see if we can go further now. So again, we'll just go real quick, is that the waiting area here, we're going to try to put some sort of glass fire pole to show that it was a firehouse. Again, a public toilet here, because it has to have handicap accessible toilets. We can't have the public come in and say, hey, we don't have a bathroom for you. We're on Main Street, so we have to be able to do that where, we have to have accessibility, and it has to be accessibility. We can't have someone come with a disability and say, hey, we don't have a toilet for you, right? So that's why this front area is going to change. And then it's, again, everything's a little bit smaller, offices are smaller, conference room, she says, like half the size. We need area, but it kind of fits and it kind of works. And that's what we're doing. Is it perfect? It's absolutely not perfect. And we also, on the exterior, we have to consider handicap parking. So why did we had questions at the historic, why do we put the tower in the back? Well, handicap parking. We have the DPW in the back. We gotta worry about them. We have cars, they have pickup trucks, garbage trucks. So the tower only where it fits is in the front. Or on the side, I should say. And the same thing upstairs, that we have health inspectors from the county that they work out of our office. We had to provide for them. We also we had a break room that was really a counter with a couple of chairs on it, right? That's it. And a coffee machine. And same thing, we have fire inspectors, we have code enforcement. Our construction office is a little bit smaller, but see all the construction that we have in town no, it's not Riverton anymore, Jamestown, right? We have Jamestown now. We have inspectors, it's working out, but in the future, I don't know if I'll be here, but I might be, but we'll probably need more inspectors than that. So we added a couple extra tables for inspectors. But it kind of works, but it's still in its infancy. We tried to help out with the structural part, like I said, with the Historical Society, but with the design professionals, it wasn't able to keep the interior stuff. We weren't able to keep, but the exterior stuff with bricks and things like that, we're going to try to do our best to make it look that way. With that being said, that's basically all I got. All right, guys? Thanks.
Thank you, Kirk. If I could just maybe wrap a bow around this. So you've had your first chance at that. Moving forward, as Kirk mentioned, the next step we'd like to go to is for CME, our engineers, your engineers, to do the structural analysis based on this design. We, in turn, will do the full code analysis to make sure we are in compliance. And then we'll move to planning board, courtesy review, as a public building would with an addition, then to construction documents, bidding sometime likely right now projected to the fall, and perhaps on an 11-month project. So I think September of 27, if things go on schedule as they are today, we should be complete, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, this time, are there any questions or comments from the public? I'd ask that you limit the time. Are there any questions or comments, Jim?
Yeah.
I'd like him to have 3.
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. I have a question for the architect, and it is this. It really has to do with your charge, with your assignment. Were you told only to make this into offices for the construction department? Or were you asked to give your idea, input, creativity into how this historic building, which was not the Borough Hall, but the Township Hall, we were a township back in 1909. But could it be a center for lectures, for museums, for gathering, for concerts in the evening, for things like that, similar to what a lot of other South Amboy, for instance, has a place where they have lectures, where they work very closely with their Cultural Arts Commission in South Amboy, and they have exhibits. Not too long ago, they had a wonderful lighthouse exhibit of all lighthouses around here. It's a wonderful thing. The Bomber Cafe might be able to do something down here. Were you asked about that, or were you told only to design offices for the construction office?
Do you want to start? Do you want me to just?
Quite frankly, no. Offices was their direction given to them. Yes.
So no consideration was given to the other things that people have talked about.
Consideration was given in our early discussions, not with the architect,
Not
but
with the architect.
we had such a dearth of available space and the shabby conditions that
With who were those discussions? You said discussions took place,
I don't recall internally in the building.
but not public discussions.
No,
Not discussions involving the council, the policy.
no, this is the first the council seeing this.
This is the first, okay. So it wasn't the council that decided these should be offices rather than something that might serve the greater public.
Well, they're going to decide that tonight.
Okay. And was the architect asked to look into the basement of this building to see, I think there's some unused space there, to see if that would be appropriate?
We're looking at that for this year's capital.
You're looking at that? I'm sorry?
We're looking at that for this year's capital, moving
This
into.
year's capital?
Yeah.
Okay, so this architect wasn't asked to take a look to see if this space could go in the basement then?
Well, no, because it can't.
Can't.
No, there's not adequate room down there
Okay.
based on its current condition, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, of course, if they did go there, they wouldn't need a conference room because we have conference rooms in this building. Might not need a break room because we have break rooms in this building, right?
All right,
So
Jim,
there-
you need to wrap it up.
I'm sorry?
You need to wrap it up.
Who said?
I said,
I got to wrap it. I can't. I thought you said we could ask questions.
you can,
It's
but
so
I'm,
rare that we get to ask questions.
no, Jim,
since
it's
you took
only,
over, Mayor,
it's
that-
only rare that you're coherent.
Yeah,
So
Henry,
let's,
this is an
let's wrap
important
this up,
topic.
Jim.
This is the referendum
Jim.
that you opposed.
Jim.
You got your ass beat. This was
Jim.
adopted
All
by
right,
the public.
you're
2-1.
done.
The
You're
people
done.
care about this.
Thank you, Jim.
I'll sit down.
Thank you. And make sure you have enough creative juices for many, many posting on social media.
I will certainly do that, Mayor.
People,
Thank you.
we're waiting for your
You
opinion.
know, I have my iPad. I might do something.
There you go. Go right ahead, Jim.
Thank you. And I'm glad you seem to be feeling better.
Is there anyone else? Frank? Oh, there you go. Val?
For the record, Val Tar. I'm a member of the Open Space Committee. Now, am I under the understanding that the open space funds that we have is going to be funding this here project?
Glenn?
It is coming out of the Open Space, Farmland Preservation, and Historical Preservation Fund. That fund is for all of those uses.
What percentage are we taking from,
We don't have any numbers on this yet, but there is more than ample funding in that.
because
Trust.
I believe we're at 900,000, I think it is.
No, we're at like, I think in excess of 7 or 8 million in there.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, so that's going to be taken out of our.
Well, it's three things, Val.
Open space
Well, open space is only one element of that fund.
of that fund.
So there will be millions of dollars left in the open space fund.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any, Frank?
Yeah, Frank Terzino, Canal Street Terrible. At this point in time, we just got to move forward. I mean, we've been going back and for a couple of years where we like that the building is being saved. We appreciate it, the money going into it and the time and effort. We would like to see something down in the base, first floor for the concerts and things, but unfortunately, this has to come forward. Maybe in the future, we get more funds together, maybe we could knock out the bottom stairs and the bottom offices and move somewhere else, and maybe then we can do something for the community center or something. But right now, we're satisfied. If we're not overly happy, but we're satisfied. All the things Pete was suggesting with the fire pole and that's pretty cool. We have some cool stuff. But we appreciate that the work going forward. As far as the things that we reckon, the ceilings and things, yeah, we seen they were rusting and we accept it. We don't have really much of a choice, but we're happy that it's going forward and we can put this behind us and move forward. And like I said, maybe in the future, the downstairs could be modified to a different use, but we're okay with this.
Thank you, Frank.
So that'd be.
Thanks for being
Thanks.
part of the process.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, being no other questions or comments, I want to thank our architects, thank Mr. Mick.
Thank you, Mayor.
One question for Kirk Mick. Kirk, is the timeline going to coincide with the expiration on your current buildings? Is it?
Yeah, it'll work. But I think we're going to discuss maybe doing some kind of patchwork with Pete.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Thanks, Kirk.
I think you do have to move forward something about allowing Jay to do structural stuff.
Yeah, we need-
Jay, I think, no,
Okay.
this is not something, another step we need to move forward.
I think we were looking for concurrence from the mayor and council to move to that next phase where we do our structural analysis.
You need it,
That's your decision, Mayor.
so we'll talk after. All right. So any questions from the governing body?
Not really a question. The one thing that I was unhappy about was the elevator on the side. I felt
Mary,
it changed.
is your mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Yes, you can hear me, right? I can hear myself on things. I thought it changed the historical look of the front of the building, putting the elevator on the side, but I do realize that we have to have an elevator. And Kirk kind of explained, why it has to be by the handicap parking and so I have heard from Kirk Mick, I have heard from the Historical Society, and they feel that this is, the way to go. I really wish there could be some way not to put that on the side of the building. It really does change the whole outlook, but I'm hoping that we can, instead of trying to make it look like something that it wasn't, it was a building from the 1900s, and I hope that instead of trying to, I don't know, the clock tower on it, I thought was a little bit stupid. It reminds me of a Hallmark card as opposed to the way the building used to look, so, but if they're happy, I'm happy.
Thank you, Madam Council.
And let me just-
If I could just add real quickly, let's see if you can get, you gonna do it on the screen so everybody can?
That's okay.
Okay,
It's
fine.
it's all right.
The rear of the property
Yeah.
was unbuildable. We have an oil tank. The side closest to Borough Hall is unbuildable because of the alley. We're not going to put, I'd be shot if I put an elevator on the front of this building. So we put it in the only spot we did, and we pushed it as far back, 5-6 feet from the front. And the height of it is registered by the height of the elevator requirements. You need a certain height above that elevator. I will look at, and I hear your comments, and we'll revisit that. When we design the exterior, we'll play it down and play up the front more. That's a great comment.
I mean, because when this is an historic building and we got our elevator on here, but it's so innocuous, nobody really even knows it's an addition out there.
Agreed.
The front was left
And-
perfect.
Madam, if I can add, if we added the elevator and the stair tower and the handicap toilet room inside the building, we wouldn't have had the room to add what we needed to add.
I'm sorry, I really couldn't see that. Of the vestibule,
Yes.
how big is that exactly going to be? I can't tell.
10 by 12, something like that. Probably all glass. I'm hoping that it's going to disappear in front of the facade itself. It's going to be diminutive. It's going to be transparent as much as we have to with glass. But as you walk in, as Kirk mentioned, it is that airlock for energy efficiency. See, man knows his stuff. Energy efficiency. But then we also, in talking with Frank and Art, when we had a great meeting with them, they talked about some memorabilia they have. So we were thinking about like the glass cases on both sides as you walk in. We thought of the fire pole or something that pays homage to something to that effect, to give it that kind of look. We're looking at ceilings and historic restoration and sites like that. So we're not going to have a 9x9 tray ceiling. Could we have something that mimics that copper ceiling, but with a modern material and pay homage to that as best we can? But it is going to be a functioning office in the 2000s, in the 2020s. But the exterior is where we're going to try and focus our work.
Yeah, and, I'm sure you'll be talking with the Historical Society, maybe, pictures of the original
We have
firehouse.
some, there's some on,
The whole vestibule.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But
Sit there.
No, but even talking with Frank, even outside, even the windows around the window frames, like adding the brickwork that was in the old firehouse, like we have the old pictures, and even doing the color of the old firehouse. But even we discussed closing the street in between. That wasn't working. Trying to do a walkway. I mean, we tried everything. We were doing everything in the back. Then we found the tank that was in the back that we couldn't move. I mean, we looked at everything besides putting it in the front there, Mary. And then the clock we could take out, but we did look at everything. But we did even talk about when we do the windows in the front, that doing, I think there's brickwork or concrete work, whatever, and matching what it looked like and changing the color to match. Like, we're going to try to match Borough Hall, but also try to match what it looked like back then. Like, we did try to consider that's why we didn't do the outdoor. We didn't bring out what you have as the outside rendering, because it's not close to what we discussed with the Historical Society at this time. So it'd be foolish to bring it here and show you a totally different thing. But I think what Pete said, when you look at the vestibule from the street, it is going to kind of disappear. That's the goal. But there is a lot of code things. But we looked at closing the street. I mean, we looked at making a walkway from here. Like, we looked at everything that just wasn't feasible.
I just want to quickly add.
There is a deed restriction because of the tanks that were there and the gas pumps. There's a deed restriction that does not allow development where that area was. That's another problem with the back of the building.
Yeah, we looked at a lot of different things.
I just want to quickly add that we went through those historical photos through every record that we were able to come up with, and the footprint of that vestibule, which we have feedback on, is in the exact footprint of the carriage house doors of the original building. And if you had swung those doors open, that's about the size that it would be. So it's not an arbitrary detail. We went through this building, we restored windows where they had been bricked. We tried to maintain as many of the original window placements as possible, and we studied that in the addition. And we understand your feedback on the elevator addition, but just know that that was a long study of the existing buildings, not just this building, but the Sayreville Historic Town. And every building has its stages in life, and this is its next stage. So we could do an addition that fades into the background and you don't notice it, and we paint it white and we hide it, or we could do an addition that makes this, for the next 100 years, a building that the people of Sayreville are very, very proud of.
Don't you love her passion? Thank you.
Okay, are there any other from the governing body? Hervé?
One quick, how many floors is it?
Okay, it is 2 floors and a basement. The basement is a utilitarian basement, about a 7-foot ceiling. We're going to put mechanicals down there. We got the 3 jail cells. We're going to talk about repurposing the jail cells. We're going to use it for long-term storage, other storages, but we're not going to put anybody bodies down in the basement. Nobody's going to want to work 9 to 5 in the basement. So we're going to satisfy the 1st and 2nd floors, Councilman.
Any other questions or comments from the governing body? Hey, Jay, what, for us to move forward on you doing the next phase, I need a not to exceed number.
We have an active
I can't hear you, Jay.
We have an active authorization for the remediation work, and there's some funds available in there. So we thought we would just do this structural study, which is going to be minimal, just, a few hours' time for our structural engineers to go in. Now that the
I
seal,
still need a not to exceed.
we can provide that to Glenn. We'll take care
I
of it.
want to vote on it tonight.
Let's say a number of not to exceed $5,000.
Oh, geez, okay. Okay, you're working cheap, Jay.
Basically, we're not doing anything detailed. It's more of a, let's look at it. Can it support what's proposed? And then
Okay.
we'll get to the next phase.
Okay. Mike, you had something?
But yeah, thank you for that explanation about how we couldn't put the elevator and stuff in the back of the building. Because, I'm sure everybody had that question in their heads. Well, we're moving the construction office out, park the trucks over there. But,
I
thank-
lost that vote. I
Thank you for
wanted it
that.
in the back, and I was overruled by Jay and my 2 ladies.
But is there anything that's gonna be built for safety for the front glass part? You're on Main Street. Is there any ballasts or trees or something?
Yeah,
Stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't protect it, everything, but if someone drives up the 6 stairs.
Okay.
It's gonna, the stairs
Well-
would be the valid.
We did reduce the speed limit, hopefully. they stay there.
Mike, once they get to the exterior, we've had a discussion about the old driveway now, there's no vehicle going in.
Yeah.
So we discussed bringing that up and making like a plaza with a couple of benches and whatnot, so people can get a natural gathering space outdoors.
exactly.
Maybe we could program some small recreation things in there in the nice weather once the.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, I'll bring forth a motion where CME will continue. Is it structural, Jay? Label it structural with a not to exceed of $5,000. Would somebody bring that motion forward?
So moved.
Council President?
I'll make the motion, or I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Blumer,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay. There you are. Thank you, USA Architects. Thank you, Kirk Mick, and thank you, Jay Cornell. All right. So with that, appointments, yeah.
20-foot pole.
Okay. I'm going to make the following appointments. Did I do these appointments?
Yeah, just gotta do this one.
I gotta do, and VFW, and, okay. Library is,
You want to do it in one motion?
wait a minute. I'm gonna do the Veterans Alliance. It's a 1-year term. The following people will be appointed.
Wait.
Wait till I meet.
I gotta find that.
Okay. Hey, Frank, can you bring it to the hall? Okay, with that, the following 6 people are the VFW Memorial Post 7508, Andy Mazur, Cami Vitale, Ed Marchinsky, Ken Kelly, Stanley Drawl, Danny Vartalis. For the next three are for the American Legion, Post 211, Joel Bloom, Larry Bishop, Michael O'Hara. This is the Veterans Alliance, they supply the names, and we just have always followed through and made the appointments. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Lumiere,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay. Library Board of Trustees, Florence Shepherd. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Lumiere,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Sorry.
Next order of business?
Do anything else?
Introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 1-26, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 3-24, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilwoman Novak?
Mayor, I'd just like to, before we vote on this, of course, of the new members, we're not privy, if Glenn could give a brief explanation of what this is. Just, a brief thing, because it's,
Go ahead.
We're looking to make our stipended OEM director's position a full-time position. The amount of work that's being done by the OEM on a routine basis merits some full-time work in there. As far as we're concerned, so we're going to be coming to you with an appointment for that, providing that this ordinance passes.
Is, Councilwoman Novak?
yes, I make a motion that the ordinance approved on first reading with a public hearing to be held on February 9th.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Lumiere,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Absolutely.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 2-26, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 2-24, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the year 2025 to 2027.
Again, Mayor, if Glenn could just, explain this, just so the new people.
If you would.
Yeah, this
Thank
is, we're establishing a new title, which would be a supervisory dispatcher for public safety. And again, the town's grown so much, the volume's gone up so much on calls, the training, the backfilling of positions, just to keep pace with everything. It's more preferable to put a civilian in there that's got the communications experience rather than pulling an officer from the street or other law enforcement related duties. So we're looking to create that FTE in that department.
Mayor, Councilman Zabrowski, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
I move that the resolution, the ordinance be approved on first reading for a public hearing to be held on February 9th. Prevailing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Lumiere,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 3-26, an ordinance adopting and amending and amended Hercules redevelopment plan 2 for the former Sunshine Biscuit site, specifically the properties identified as block 53.02, lot 8, block 54.01, lots 1.01, 1.02, and 7, and block 14, lot 1, as shown on the tax map of the Borough of Saraville in accordance with NJSA 40A12A-7.
Jay, you want to extrapolate on this?
Mayor, this, previously the mayor and council reviewed this and determined that it met the criteria as a redevelopment area. The next phase was to develop a redevelopment plan. That plan was prepared by the planner for the redevelopment agency, and it's now before you for consideration.
Is there a motion, Councilman Zabrowski? Council President?
No, I just, Joe, is this the one the planner was supposed to be here? But I'm sorry, I didn't turn it on. I need
This is
Donna.
also introduction, Mary.
I know, bring it, the planner was supposed to be here, isn't that correct, Joe? But because the meeting was changed, she's not here. I'd like just a brief explanation. I mean, Alberto was, getting a lot of information from Sarah, but Hervé is not. And just because these people are new and this is the first meeting of the new year.
Okay,
Mayor, I can address it if
Go ahead.
it's okay. Yes, I spoke to Sarah's planner. She was going to attend the meeting when it was scheduled, supposed to be on Monday, but unfortunately, when we had to change it, she couldn't attend. She had a conflict this evening, but I did speak to her about what really is going on with this plan. And I can give a very brief summary so that you understand where it's coming from. This is dealing with the existing multiple tenant warehouse building that's been at the site. It's really old, outdated, has leaking, not accurate circulation, no loading, not adequate loading areas. And so the Hanover Group came to the borough and asked to see if they would be entertaining the process of redeveloping this portion of the site to make it more modern. So they came and they've been working through Sarah. This governing body had already extended that prior redevelopment area to include some additional properties, and now looking to adopt the redevelopment plan that would adopt or provide for the development as proposed by the Hanover Group. This essentially does reduce the overall building coverage than what's existing by about it's approximately 143,000 square feet from what is existing, and is also approximately 390,000 square foot reduction for what was previously approved for this portion of the site with regard to warehousing. They are looking to provide for very high-end development with LEED certification, meaning high energy efficiency in their construction work and for use. They are currently also working with the Conrail to potentially and hopefully utilize the trains for deliveries rather than add additional truck traffic on the roadway. So it should actually be a significant reduction if that works out in the end. These are all things that will work. The borough will work with the developer through Sarah, through the council after adoption of the plan, when it goes through the planning board approval, as well as negotiating any redevelopment agreement. They're making substantial improvements on the local roadways, and it's providing basically a more state-of-the-art facilities for this site versus what is currently there, including what was being previously proposed and approved for that development. So at this point, what we're looking to do in the process is we would introduce this plan was prepared by the planner for Sarah. This would introduce that ordinance. Then after introduction, it goes to the planning board for consistency review. Then it comes back before the governing body for public hearing and final adoption. At that public hearing, I believe the intention is to also have Ms. Sawant, who is the Sarah planner who prepared this plan, has been working directly with the developer, come to that meeting to answer any additional questions, to really get more into depth as to what is included in the plan and any questions you might have that come up since then. But I wanted to provide some background, even though we're only on for introduction, to where this came from and where it's going.
Yeah, but when
everybody's got to speak in the mic.
I'm sorry. When the presentation has been made, if I could see it, then at least I can have a better understanding of what's going on. And from what I understand, you said that there's a reduction in terms of the size of what was going to be put there. My question is, would that be big enough for something like the bus depot? Or when they reduce it, what's going to happen to that space? Is it going to sit there? It's not going to be put to best use or anything like that? That's why I would have loved for that person to have been here. I can ask them those questions and to be able to see what's going on. Because right now I have no idea why. Because I know that spot is big, and I know there are people there with a business because I bought some stuff from there from eBay as well. So that's why I would prefer to have the person come back to be able to explain it better to us.
Mayor, if I could just for a
Go
second.
ahead, John.
I think sometimes we don't always realize what the procedural it is on. We don't understand what the procedures are for all this, but when the second reading, the Sarah planner will be here. I also believe that the developer will be here as well with a fuller presentation of what that's about. Unfortunately, this is the machinations and how this process works. It doesn't always seems a little clunky. I agree with you, but I do know that at the second public meeting that they'll have a more firm presentation of what this is.
Yeah, so but I Am I gonna ask to vote on this right now?
It's an
For
introduction.
yeah, for introduction purposes only. While we were planning on having the planner here to explain it, and some of the background, it is more typical to have the planner and developer and whoever else come during the public hearing, because that's when it's open to the public. Public can ask their questions. That is at a following meeting. That's actually going to be, what is it, the 23rd, the meeting of the 23rd. So it will be advertised for that, and it will be on at that time. For procedurally, when you're voting on for introduction, that doesn't mean you're adopting the ordinance. That's just the required procedure to start for ordinance introduction and ordinance adoption.
Two meetings.
Yes, it requires, the New Jersey law requires for any ordinance, it requires 2 meetings. It requires introduction to start the process. It has to then get, after introduction, that's not adoption. Even if you vote for introduction, you could still vote against adoption in the end. All that does is start the ordinance adoption process. After introduction, even if it wasn't a zoning ordinance or a redevelopment ordinance, you would still have to introduce it, because at that point it triggers the clerk's office to provide public notice of the public hearing, because all ordinances have to have public hearings. So at that point, what we're going to have on the 23rd is the public hearing. You'll have all representatives of the redeveloper as well as the Sarah Planner will be able to answer any questions of the board, of the council, any questions of the public. And if at that time you're still not comfortable in adopting it, it can be carried, it can be amended. It doesn't mean that that's the end of the process. But if you are satisfied at that point, you've satisfied all the procedural requirements, so you can then adopt it.
No, the reason I'm asking is because if we cannot adopt it, yet why all of a sudden we're saying there's a reduction in size of, in scope or whatever?
Well, that's what's
going to
Well,
be.
that's what's currently proposed in the plan. That's the plan that's part of being attached to the ordinance for introduction. So you have to have the plan prepared when it's being introduced. It can be amended later on as part of the process, but you have to have a final plan that was prepared and attached to the ordinance for the introduction. That's what's going to go to the planning board for consistency review. That's what we're going to get back from the planning board. And then at the public hearing is when you can ask the questions of whether or not you wanted changes to it, amendments to it, or how it's going to be used in the future. If they have, when the developer's here, if they have any proposed tenants for that use or not. And then at that point, if you feel comfortable, the council can then make a motion and adopt it. If they're not comfortable, it can be, the public hearing can be carried. It can be amended. The ordinance can be amended if you want, if there's other parts. But that's just the process of adopting ordinances in the redevelopment process in general for adopting redevelopment plans.
Thank you.
So we, just to make it clear, particularly to, well, you're getting the Sarah bit part of it, but this person will be here at the next public meeting, and they will be explaining and be able to answer all of the questions before we vote on it. I just want to.
You and I have sat up here a long time.
know,
This is the process.
I know, but we got 2 new people, and I just
I
want to
get
make sure
that.
that they
I
feel,
get that.
you know,
that.
that they.
Okay. That being said, Council President Zabrowski,
Thank you, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on February 9th, 2020. I'm sorry, February 23rd, 26.
is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Zabrowski,
Yes.
Lumiere,
Abstaining.
Khaleesi,
Yes,
Novak? Yeah, I'm going to vote yes to get it to the next step, but if I'm not happy with the plan, I will be voting no finally. Thank you.
Rios.
Before I vote, I had a question. Was this something that could have been discussed if we had scheduled an agenda meeting?
Well, you could go to the Sarah, you are on Sarah.
Yeah,
Do you ask these questions there?
sure. I had one meeting
Okay.
there.
Your job, whatever committees you get,
Mhm.
Alberto, you're the liaison.
Right.
So your job is to take the information and to come back to answer the questions. Now, in fairness to you, this is your second meeting of the
Yes.
year. Rutgers, there are courses given for newly elected officials, and it covers a wide range. I don't know whether when they're
Going
coming out.
Saturday for,
Yeah, they're going.
But they're very good. When I was a
looking
new
forward.
guy, I went to them. When I was a mayor, I went. They're very helpful because most of what we do in government is following process and procedure, which is the legal requirement. So the whole purpose of redevelopment is taking property and bringing it to a higher and better use by the standards of the day. So when they built this was originally asbestos tile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insulation, wasn't it?
And then it became a bakery. And then in 2000, it was a 1 million square foot warehouse, if I remember right. In 2000, a group out of Philadelphia contacted me. In those days, they were called data centers. And they wanted to do a data center there. And they bought it. And I don't know, data centers went out of style. I can't remember exactly what happened. Governor Whitman came, she gave us 50,000 of seed money. But what, the market changed. The market changed, their finances changed, I don't know. But then they just used it as a warehouse. And my understanding is they're one of the 2 places in town that has permission for truck parking. Is that true, Jay? I never confirmed it. They can rent out space to truckers to park their trucks there. Yeah.
They've been doing it,
Yeah.
so I would say
Yeah, yeah. And those are the designated uses now. What the new uses are for the current market, I couldn't tell you. So,
And also, can easier language be used instead of identifying the lots the way they're identified? Is there an easier way to identify? I mean, I had to look all this up.
Jay will send you a map with the lot number.
They all have to be read by their title.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it,
Well, maybe I could just
This one,
respond.
it does say
Technically, we do have to identify it by its
This one
official lot and block on on the tax map of the borough. We try to, when I try to put some more localized language. That's why even when we say the former Sunshine Biscuit site, but sometimes it's a little harder to do so or not to add that additional. In the plan itself, it does have a lot of the mapping, so you can see where it is.
No, I mean, I was able to
Yeah.
locate them, but as far as for the public.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we do have to identify it by the lot and block legally as part of the plan.
Yeah, I'm not saying to remove the lot IDs. I'm just saying to also add, maybe like a cross.
Visual.
street. Yeah,
The visual.
yeah, just for,
When I was a young
Make it easier.
councilman, I asked the same question.
No, I absolutely can. I try to when I can. This one was a little bit more harder, so that's why I just looked at generally, but I will take your comment and I will try to do it even more so moving forward.
thank you.
And how are you voting?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
wait, Sinarski.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 4-26, ordinance establishing the Borough Cultural Arts Council in collaboration with the Recreation Advisory Board and amending the terms of the Recreation Advisory Board.
Councilman Kalasi,
Mayor, may I?
go ahead.
Again, I came in here tonight and I was ready to vote no on this because I really did not understand it. I was explained to it by Nicole and Joe, and I asked, could Joe please explain exactly what this is?
Go ahead,
And
Joe.
how
Go ahead.
this all came about?
Go ahead.
Absolutely, I'm happy to. Since I've been, the past year as borough attorney, I've been working with the clerk's office trying to clean up a lot of our ordinances and reorganize and trying to make things a little bit more consistent. One of the things that we realized is that the Cultural Arts Committee actually didn't have a establishing ordinance or resolution that set forth its terms, and it just started operating. So what we need to do legally is have it established by ordinance. So that's what we, initially started to do with this. The intention is all the terms, it operates the same, nothing changes with its powers and authorities. It's just now we're codifying it in an ordinance, which was what we need to do by law. What we're also doing, and by doing so, we located trying to figure out where to put it in the code. We put it under the chapter or the section for the recreation because they currently operate under the recreation umbrella. So it just make more sense, just logically when we go looking for it, when you start looking, where's this board, where's that, committee, as we're doing it through the entire code, as eventually there'll be other ordinances as well as we're trying to work through. We're trying to make it more sense. So since it's operates under the recreation umbrella. We put it under the recreation section, but it's its own ordinance, its own section in there where establishes its own powers and duties, meetings. It has its own governments in there. It's just located under the umbrella of the Recreation Advisory Board. So it's under section 262.7, but that's its own ordinance. That's its own section that will now govern the establishment and memorialize what has already been operating as the Cultural Advisory Council. I said, board, but
The
it's council.
cultural arts is autonomous. They are not, other than paperwork and administrative, the cultural arts will not be answerable, to the you don't have to attend recreation meetings. If you'd like to, you can. You are an autonomous board, though. And there was one thing in here, I couldn't find it. They had to show me how that website confuses me, but then again, most websites do. Section 265, I remember discussing this because they have, the members that are currently sitting on there have met with all of the council people. I'm sorry, I moved away from the mic. All of the council people to discuss their concerns. And this is, I was concerned when I came in here tonight, and I was going to be, no, matter of fact, Nicole asked me, met all of my requirements, and I said, no. It is autonomous. It is included in this because your mission statement is to work with the public for recreation, whether it's cultural things or arts or bringing the young people. I wish I was, but I'm not anymore. The young adults and the slightly older teens in to things, but you are autonomous. And I just wanted, this group of people has worked harder than anybody I've known, and they're very much into it. But now you will have, you're underneath here strictly because your activities are recreational, but you are autonomous. You still have to, like anybody else. Oh, I started talking about 2-65. I remember talking to you about having bylaws and setting your own quorum numbers, which you can do, unless the town or the state has certain requirements. 2.65 is part of our revised general ordinances that's been in effect since before I got involved, and I've been involved since the late 80s. That says that you must have a quorum of, I believe it's 50% plus one. So, and, you sometimes, what happens and you don't have a quorum, whether it's illness or whatever, but, to have a meeting where you take any votes, you must, it's not illegal for you to meet and have minutes, but it is not, it won't be legal if you take any votes in that meeting that you don't have the quorum. So I wanted to know exactly what was said in that. Joe found it for me and I read it. And I am happy that this is going to be your baby and you're going to work with it. And there's just some paperwork and stuff as far as when you want to plan something, there's paperwork as far as if you want to sign a contract with somebody, that has to go through legal review like every contract in the town, because we're not attorneys, so they get paid a lot of money to do that. But I just wanted you to know, I really checked into this and I asked Joe to explain it because after he explained it to me, I felt comfortable with saying yes on this.
Mike, any comments?
Yep. So now that this ordinance is structured in order for this commission to run legally and efficiently, I'm proud to push this ordinance now and introduce it. So Mayor,
Make a motion if you want.
I move the ordinance to be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on February 9th of this year.
February 9th?
Yes.
Yes, this one.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Khaleesi,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Rios.
So before I vote, I just want to say that I did do some research with our neighboring towns and boroughs, and almost all of them have a cultural arts as a standalone committee. And I think that's the right direction to go with cultural arts. But I'm open, I'm happy that we're talking about cultural arts because I'm very happy with the job that Sharon and Greg and Chris are doing. So I'm happy that we're talking about it. But I think the right direction will be a standalone committee, so my vote is no.
Jaworski,
Yes.
Zabrowski,
Just comment, and not to belabor the point, but I do want to thank the members of the Cultural Arts Committee that are here this evening, two of which, but all nine prospective members were all participating in this discussion. And it did take over several times and iterations to get it. And I'm quite happy that it's got to this point because at the end of the day, we just want to see you get to work at the wonderful events that you've been doing. So yes.
Okay. Yep. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions and comments on the consent agenda. Other questions or comments? Jim?
Robinson Carlin, I have some questions and as a courtesy, I do not take my time. Put the questions on paper so that the administrator will have them. As I've noticed in the past, he's a little selective when he answers questions. First one is this, can you explain the two resolutions concerning Bailey Park and Green Acres? I think it's 37 and 38, including the grant amount and the match. And I'm very supportive of this inclusive playground, but my question is, will it cost $1 million or $750,000? It wasn't clear to me from reading, so I'd appreciate if you would explain those two resolutions for my benefit and the benefit of the public. I think it's a good thing that we're doing. I just think I'd like to know more about it. We're transferring money to the animal control account.
Wait a minute. We're going to answer your questions.
No, when I'm
We're
done.
going to answer
No,
your questions.
No, I don't want him to take my time, Mayor.
But we're
This
not
is why I did it
secretary.
this
We're
way.
not
We're
secretaries,
transferring
Jim.
money to the animal
We're-
control
turn it
account.
off.
Has
Okay.
our animal control
All right.
contract
Go
expired?
ahead, Glenn, and answer the
And if
question.
so,
We're answering your questions.
what
We're answering your, we're not
Mayor,
secretaries
can
to
you
you.
Stop the clock
Go ahead.
while we're answering.
Go
The
ahead.
resolutions for Bailey Park and Green Acres are specifically to accept the grant that we were awarded back in the fall. There's a match on, I believe it's the playground one for $250,000, which is in the budget.
All right, I'm gonna ask later what happened to our animal control contract. Why don't we have it? But my next question is the emergency resolution on the elevator. I'm glad we're doing this. The mayor gave sort of his version of why we couldn't do it earlier, but it's been out for 10 months. During that 10 months, some of us had to help people up and down the steps for council meetings. Mayor, I'm very sorry what happened to you on the first where you had to be carried up. Two people I know stopped attending meetings because the elevator was out. You didn't allow Zoom participation from home while the elevator was out. My question is this, and I'm glad we're doing this emergency resolution. I know it's something that the council people asked for to be on the agenda if they had a meeting on the 12th, which you didn't allow, but whose responsibility was it to get this elevator fixed? And why wasn't the emergency resolution that we're passing tonight requested 9 months ago or 10 months ago? It's been broken since March. And
All right. Go ahead, Glenn.
We had a contracted elevator repair company. We went into contract with them for a repair. They became, over time, non-communicative. We did our best to re-engage with them. And finally, we were at our wits' end with no progress. So we sought out and obtained another elevator company that was able and willing to do the work. And they'll be back here tomorrow to do the repair.
and that took 10 months to do.
Yeah, it did.
That took 10 months.
It did.
And it's just coincidence that it happened to be the meeting after the mayor had his issue that we're finally complying with the ADA law.
But
and
we're
getting the
complying with
elevator
the
fixed.
ADA law because we have a
10
remote.
months, okay.
We're
And-
complying with
And
ADA
whose
because we made an
responsibility was
accommodation.
it to
Wait a
get
minute,
that
wait a
fixed?
minute. Glenn is answering your question.
We're complying with the ADA law because we have the secondary site at the rec center where people that have mobility issues can go and simulcast and have their questions
How
sent
about
out.
people that want to come into the Borough Hall?
They can call and we'll come down and meet them.
There's no phone down there.
Well,
What if you show up and you don't know the elevator's not working, you get to the front door?
Well, Jim, I don't know what magic you expect us to do. As it was explained
Whatever you're
earlier,
doing tonight should have been done 9 months ago.
couldn't be done 9 months ago. We had a contracted service.
And we did issue an emergency resolution back in
If they
July.
weren't performing, you could go around that and you could do the emergency contract.
Which time?
Okay? Glenn, you know I checked into this stuff. You know I've called DCA. You know I know what I'm talking. You could have done this 9 months ago. The
48
public purpose is
48
served
seconds, Jim.
by having things accessible. And that overrides the contract you had with somebody that's not performing. Now, why don't we have an animal control contract right now? When did it expire and when did we know it was expiring and when did we start to negotiate with them?
It's expired at the end of 2025. We engaged with them, I believe it was as early as October, at which point they informed us that it was going to be a 25% increase in our annual expense, which was not something we felt could be budgetarily absorbed. So an RFP was issued, which is due back on February 11th, at which time the mayor and council will select the next provider of
So you knew that
service.
in October. When was the RFP issued?
Okay.
3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I believe, yeah, in that area. Well, no, because we were engaged in negotiations back and forth.
Thank you, Jim. Is there anyone else? Hey, Chris, come on up.
Good evening, Chris Cuneo, Cultural Arts. Very happy about the ordinance that we've gotten this far and we're going forward. That being said, both Sharon and myself would like to ask the question, will we have our own budget for the cultural arts? Will we have a separate budget?
That's the budget question.
I'm sorry.
Well, Cultural arts have. their
Glenn,
own
will we,
budget.
will we have a separate budget with the?
Just like you did last year,
Like
there'll
we
be a
did.
separate line item for cultural arts.
Okay.
Is that good?
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
very,
Chris.
very
Thanks
much.
for your work.
Mayor, be well.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Val? What?
We have to stick to the
Okay, for the general record
resolutions.
again,
Yeah, Val, are these the resolutions that you're dealing with?
oh, no, these are, I thought it's on the end. of
Wait,
it.
wait for the open public.
Oh, that's the end of it?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? There being no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion, Council President.
Move that public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolution be approved on roll call.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blumer.
Yes, except for 2642. Again, it's the same issue I'm having that I had with 326. I have no idea what this is.
Are you abstaining or no?
Abstaining.
Okay. Lisi?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes, except for 42, only because I don't know whether I'm for or against it, but I couldn't read this on my phone and I only got the hard copy tonight, so I'm abstaining on, do I need to, huh? Oh, okay, well, I don't know enough about this to vote on it right now. Thank you.
Just as a reminder, though, this was something that was already authorized by this council for the planning board to do the study. The
Do the
planning board did the study and now came back with its recommendation to declare these properties as needed. This is not something new to the council. The council has already authorized the planning board to do the study that it would be ruling upon in this resolution 42.
This council?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
this council, I mean, yeah, there's no, not
Oh,
you
okay.
as a new council member, but this council as a body.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yes.
Rios?
Yes.
Tenarski?
Yes.
You went first.
Oh, that's right, yes.
So long.
I'm like, wait. Motion to accept the correspondence?
Done.
Second?
Second.
Roll call. Oh, go ahead.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Blumer?
Yes.
Khaleesi?
Yes.
Rios?
Yes.
Donarski?
Yes.
Zabrowski?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Council reports.
Okay,
Councilwoman Novak.
right. I'm sorry. Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Novak.
Well, this is the first meeting that I'm back in charge of finance. We haven't really done a lot on the budget yet. Hopefully, we're going to move fast. I would like to have more public meetings, particularly on the Capitol. Hopefully, state law says that we have to introduce to the closest meeting to March 24th, and I'm really going to push that we get that done then, and it'll be progress, Mayor.
Anything else, Mary?
No, I said progress.
Okay, thank you. Public Safety, Councilman Blamore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. January 2026 has been a particularly active month for public safety within the borough of Sayreville. The month began with an unfortunate homicide incident, which has since resulted in an arrest. Approximately 1 week later, officers responded to an armed robbery at the Delta gas station on Main Street. 2 suspects are currently being sought in connection with that incident, and SPD is still requesting for the public assistance with any video or additional information related to this investigation. More recently, a concerned citizen questioned our police captain regarding auto thefts in the borough. He was told that we have a total of 3 auto thefts year to date. Auto theft activity in and around Sayreville tends to fluctuate throughout the year, and residents are urged to take simple, important preventive measures to reduce the likelihood of vehicle theft. For instance, I know it's simple, but locking your doors and removing the key fobs from your car. Also, we know it's cold this time of year. Residents should refrain from leaving their motor vehicles running and unattended, as we have experienced an uptick in thefts occurring in this matter in the past. During this period, a residential burglary was also reported, which ultimately led to the theft of 2 high-end motor vehicles. This would bring our year-to-date of auto thefts up to 5. Looking ahead, SPD is actively working on their 2026 operating budget requests, as well as capital improvement submissions. I'm pleased to report that Vincent O'Donnell, Parker McCall, and Camille Korachuk graduated from the Cape May County Police Academy on January 11, 2026. They are currently actively participating in a field training officer program for the next 12 weeks. Additionally, Brendan Alicia and Blake Bouchard began the Police Academy on January 26, 2026, and are anticipated to return to the department upon graduation in June. Unfortunately, Joseph Smith suffered an injury and will have to attend the Police Academy in August of this year. So, as of this report, we have 2 officers currently enrolled in the Police Academy. The year began with a moderate amount of snow, and the fire department is committed to ensuring the safety of the residents, along with the safety of our firemen. These past few snowstorms, all firehouses have been manned during weather events with crews for any emergency and assistance to the borough, working hand in hand with PD, OEM, and first aid. The Morgan Firehouse had a water issue, which has been handled by installing an automatic sump pump on one side of the firehouse. For the other side, we are still waiting on the borough engineer to work on a solution. And they did have a street water shut-off replaced last week in front of the firehouse. The fire department has only one request for the residents. With the amount of snow that has fallen, we are asking that if your property has a fire hydrant on it, to clear that area in order, so that this will save time, vital time for the fire crews to suppress a fire. Our first aid squads have been invaluable to the residents of this town and are looking to work towards improved communication and coordination moving forward. This will include regular check-ins, shared updates, and increased collaborations to ensure resources, staffing, and information are aligned when responding to community needs, as well as addressing the ongoing challenge of volunteer equipment and retention, and coordinating solutions to improve facilities, especially moving forward with plans to resolve the HVAC issues at the Sayreville facility. During snow emergency, the Office of Emergency Management, OEM, plays a critical role in coordinating the overall response to ensure the safety of our community. OEM works closely with police, fire, first aid squads, and other first responders to manage operations before, during, and after severe winter weather events. This coordination includes planning, communication, resource deployment, and real-time updates to ensure all public safety agencies are aligned and able to respond quickly to emergency. This collaborative effort, which include the road department and public works, have been essential to keeping our roads safe, responding to emergencies, and protecting the well-being of our community throughout winter storms. Thank you, Public Safety, for all you do.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Rios, please, Public Works.
Good evening, Council President, Mayor, and members of the council. Department of Public Works is responsible for maintaining 643 streets throughout the borough, along with 27 municipal buildings and parking lots, as well as approximately 15 parks and their associated parking areas. All of these locations must be clear and made safe following every storm. During the most recent snow event, which brought approximately 12 inches of snow, we had a total of 66 public work employees report for duty. With ample equipment and vehicles available, our crews worked tirelessly to ensure our streets, facilities, and public areas were safely clear in a timely manner. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank the men and women of the Department of Public Works. They spend long hours away from their families, working through difficult conditions to make sure our residents could travel safely. Their dedication and professionalism do not go unnoticed, and I am extremely proud of the work they do. I would also like to thank the Sayreville Fire Department for their assistance during this storm. They provided 4 plow trucks, which help keep critical areas open and ensure access in the event of an emergency. Additionally, our Office of Emergency Management remained open throughout the storm, monitoring conditions and keeping us informed as the storm progressed. OEM also coordinated with one of our local businesses to provide hot meals to our crews. A special thank you to Butch and Amanda from Rostonis, as well as their employees, for the generosity and support of our workers. I would also like to thank our residents for their cooperation. We are grateful to those who park their vehicles away from main roadways, remove items such as basketball hoops and other obstructions from the streets, and help keep our roadways clear. We also appreciate residents who kept their pets safely indoors and checked in on neighbors during the storm. Looking ahead, we are monitoring another weather system expected this coming weekend. Early reports indicate the potential for a nor'easter that may bring a few inches of snow. At this time, I would like to remind residents to remain calm and allow our crews to do their jobs safely and efficiently. We ask the residents, once again, remove any unnecessary items from the streets, park vehicles away from main roads when possible, assist neighbors who may need help, keep pets indoors and warm, and limit travel during the storm. Most importantly, stay inside when you can, stay safe, and take the opportunity to enjoy some family time. The Department of Public Works is prepared and ready to respond as conditions require, and we will continue to work closely with OEM and other departments to keep Sayreville safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation, Councilman Kalasi.
Mayor, may I talking about Public Works and the storms, I just go to any of our neighboring towns and you'll see just how great Sayreville is. And it was next to impossible to get salt this year. You had to constantly badger the people. And we were very fortunate enough, and they were very, they divvied it up so that our roads are great. I really can't say enough about the Public Works people get, and again, it's all hands on deck. As Water Department was out there plowing, everybody was out there plowing. So, I mean, it really was and I just hope we don't get any more snow. My rosaries obviously didn't work with this one.
That's it, Mary. Thank you. Water and sewer / environmental. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
That's
I thought Mary
okay.
gave you a report.
So I just want to start my report with the Office of the Aging at our Active Adult Senior Center. We had a variety of events this month. They hosted a wills and estate planning seminar. It was provided by Ken Verkaman Esquire. They discussed where the dangers of not having a will or invalid documents, getting your estate planning documents done when you can't get into a law office, what goes into a will, the power of attorney recommendations, a living will, and advance directive for medical care. They also had a trivia and hot cocoa day that was hosted by Home Care Watch Givers. They had a blood pressure and blood sugar screening provided by St. Peter's University Hospital. They also provided a fall prevention repairs in the home for seniors through a grant offered by Middlesex County. This grant is usually granted to the borough every year. And even though it's not concluded yet this year, they do have a waiting list in the event that they do receive the grant in the future. So this grant actually gives you the steps and the handrails for your shower and all to keep you safe going in and out of your bathrooms. So then the office has compiled a list of local residents willing to provide snow removal services for a negotiated fee. This is for our seniors. If anyone needs names for snow removal, they can contact the Office of the Aging and receive that list. I don't have their info printed, but it is on the website.
732-390-7058.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks for the help. So on February 5th, they will have a Lifeline screening hosting affordable, non-invasive health screening from 9 to 4, and appointments can be made directly with Lifeline Screening by calling 1-800-640-6307. Now on to recreation. Recreation is looking forward to another great year of full events, activities, and programs as we gather as a community. So while we'll have our regular community favorite events, we're also excited to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States with new and expanded events. These include burying a time capsule in the spring, all the different American flags that were flown throughout our country's history is going to be lining Main Street in the spring and summer. and a reading of the Declaration of Independence, and of course, our Independence Day celebration fireworks. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. So that event will be on June 27th at Kennedy Park. So be sure to stay tuned for more details on our 250th anniversary details. So they do, so at rec, what is their website? SaravilleRec.com. They have all their events listed. The upcoming events right now, February 20th, is the LED indoor mini golf. That's going to be at the Active Adult Center, 5:30 to 7:30. Pre-registration is required. Like I said, SaravilleRec.com. You can register. They're also having a murder mystery night, which seems interesting. That's going to be February 17th. The price for that is $30. It includes pizza and drinks. Then, okay. What do we have? We have February 3rd to 6th. They're going to host volleyball. All the information is on the site. There's volleyball, badminton, February 17th through the 20th. Field hockey, that's going to be February 23rd to 26th. They're going to have basketball, part 2, March 2nd to the 5th. They also have pinball. That sounds interesting. That's going to be March 23rd to the 26th. In addition to their murder mystery nights, too, they lined up a country line dancing February 14th. That's free for everyone. So, yeah, Valentine's Day. It's a good night out, good date night. So, all the details will be on the site. Canvas printing. They're going to have painting, canvas painting, February 24th. That's a $30 fee. And then there's Lego robotics. I mean, really, youth cooking classes, a babysitter's first aid training. They just had that. So that was on the 25th. So here's to a full year of events and activities. And in case you can't get on the rec site and figure out what's going on, what day, just ask me. My phone number is listed on the borough website. Call me up and I'll give you all the details about everything. That's my report. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Water, Sewer, Environmental, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to add a couple things to Public Works. The Borough of Saraville has an excellent program for plowing streets and everything else, but there's a procedure that has to be followed for them to do that. First, they make passes through every road in town just to make the roads acceptable for fire, ambulances, and things like that. Then they come by and make secondary passes to widen the roads out. They cannot widen the roads out in the Borough of Saraville because there are too many cars parked on the side. When I was growing up in this town, the borough put orange signs up on telephone poles throughout the town. No parking when road is snow covered. We ticketed back then. I want the tickets put out again. The warnings don't seem to work. If you ride down even the street that I live at now, there's school buses and cars coming down the street at the same time because the cars were not moved. Cars can't go by. We have to address this. This is a significant snow. This is not a major storm, but it was a very significant snow. A minor snow, it's not a problem. But today's snow, there's still snow piled up where the buses and the cars are coming down. The kids can't walk. It's an accident waiting to happen. I want to move forward and we do something about this for the next time. Okay?
Hey, Stash, I just checked. That's on the books already. It's just a question of enforcement.
We got it. We have to do something else. South River towed cars this snow. There was no cars on Main Street in South River because they were all towed away.
I've talked to some other mayors and they did the same thing.
It's definitely a problem, but I'd like to work with it a little tighter.
One of the things Mary, I can remember 15, 20 years ago, we used to tell people, and I was one of the people, my kids had reached teenage years and I had too many cars for a one car driveway. And we parked it in the high school parking lot, if I remember right. And we left it there for the duration of the storm. So, Hervé, if you would, talk to the chief about it, about we don't need to pass anything here. It's an enforcement issue. We're not looking to hurt people, but what we look for is compliance and consideration.
Our street, the first few cars, we parked all our cars, whether it was up on the grass, we doubled up on the driveways, we did whatever we had to do to make the corner accessible for the buses to come around and everything else.
Yeah,
There's
when the kids were home, Sash, I used to park up on the
Yeah,
side yard.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And there's another thing, beside all the snow plows and everything else, we got to commend all the mechanics and welders in the borough that repair all of these trucks and keep them running for when an incident like this happens. The guys, when an accident happens on the road and the plow gets knocked off, broken off, they have to go with a backhoe and another truck, and they put the plow in the back of the truck, bring it to the garage, do the repairs 24 hours a day. That's the other group that we can't forget about in the town on Public Works, the mechanics that work in the garage to keep all these vehicles running. Go back to my water and sewer. Saraville had an average, 152 million gallons of water was used out of Dewhernal water system that was used in the borough. We are definitely still in a drought situation. Please try to conserve water. There's no rain, there's a lot of snow, but it's not going to melt for a long time to filter back into the ground. So try to conserve water. There's nothing new in the community garden. It's covered with snow, but I'm looking forward to a good year now. We have a lot more plots. We're going to try to keep that running as well as possible. The environmental, there's a meeting coming up next month, which I'll know more about environmental next month. But that's all I have for the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sash. Planning and Zoning, Council President Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. First of all, thank you, everybody that came out tonight. It's much frigid weather. We really appreciate you being here and taking the opportunity to spend this evening with us and learn a little bit more about what's going on. So thank you and get home safe. I do want to thank also the borough workers and staff for really a yeoman's job. I guess this was the 10-year snowstorm last time, 2016, before that 96. Just a really nice job by everybody, particularly those that are away from their house, right? Because if the borough workers are cleaning the roads, that means they're not doing their own stuff at their own house. They're out cleaning the roads for the rest of the residents. We appreciate that. Our first aid, our fire, and our police officers, they're out there as well during the storms, and their families, as a result, have to do the hard work. So we appreciate that. And I do want to say one thing is, and that is, I appreciate the patience that I've encountered with a lot of our residents over this snowstorm. You know, I know we talk about roads that maybe you need to move cars and all this other stuff, but by and large, what I saw was a great cooperative effort by our residents. Many who just volunteered to go next door and shovel for a neighbor who couldn't else do it, or move a car that, or get it unstuck from another neighbor. So, we have some really good people in this town, and I want to thank them for that patience during this time. Over the last month in January, we all attended a number of events which were wonderful for our town, one of which was the 80th anniversary of our VFW. If you were there, you will have seen a VFW that was transformed into a venue that I've never seen before. You know, 38 years ago, I was married in a VFW. It looked great, but I'm going to tell you, for the 80th anniversary, it was spectacular. And what a nice tribute for all the members, our service members in the town for that. So thank you very much. Another award ceremony that we always attend, and to me, one of my favorite is the Troop 97 Eagle Scouts Award. There were 5. These young men had wonderful programs that they provided for the town. Excellent job, and my kudos. They're going to be future leaders in our town. I feel bad I was not able to attend the 50th anniversary of Ronnie Connors, for being a volunteer member of Saraville Engine Company, 50 years. We have a few of those members already. If you know the Connors family, if you recall back in the first meeting of the year, when I was talking about the Gavrans, well, the Connors, I think, are equally like that, in that the entire family is probably the most community-oriented group that I know. And I know them very well because they're my neighbors, and Ronnie's been my neighbor for my entire life. So, Ron, congratulations. And I also feel bad. My condolences as his mom had passed away this past week as well. So my condolences to the family. On a lighter note, many of us attended last night the post-Christmas party from the Sayreville South Amboy Rotary. And Mayor, they presented to us the 2025 Service Above Service Award. And everyone's name is on this, and I'll present it to you. So this would go in our display case. But that was a wonderful event, and we certainly appreciate that. On the planning side, all three boards, Sarah, Planning Board and Board of Adjustment, have met. They did their reorganizations. Planning Board actually met a second time, and during that meeting, there was an application for a quick lube and car wash, which was approved and will be going in an intersection of Route 35 South and Kearney Road. I bring that up for two reasons. Number one, that's a vacant piece of property, and it's good to see that the area is being developed. And the second is, and maybe this is a question for Jay, Kearney Road. There were residents that were there that were complaining, and I did see the photos of drainage and flooding issues during, actually, it looks like mild rain, not just rainstorms. It appears that there's a sewer grate that is too high. It's not road level anymore. And I think water can't drain. I don't know if you're aware of that, or if that's something that needs to be addressed.
We can take a look, yeah.
But if you could, because the residents were there and the photos are compelling. And I apologize, this is my last issue or question. And again, this may be to Jay. We had a pretty bad accident at Winding Woods Drive, Bordentown Avenue, Winding Woods Drive over the last month. It's not the first time. There's 5,000 residents that live in Winding Woods without a traffic light. I'm sure we've looked into it, but maybe this is the time to re-examine whether a traffic light could be erected in that at that intersection. I know that there's probably a lot of encroachments and encumberments, and you're dealing with the county, as well as probably needing a traffic report from our police department, but it's probably due time.
It's also private roadway, so it's private roadways for Winding Woods and a county roadway. You may want to petition the county to request that a study be done. I think that's initially how, because it's really their jurisdiction. So
To do that, I don't know if anybody else feels the same, but I'd like to move forward with that. Yeah.
10% of our school children come from Winding Woods. And for their sake, we should address this issue.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. And that's my report.
Thank you, Council President. For myself, I've been sitting up here for decades, and our staff is exemplary. Whether it's in the clerk's office, it's George Gavin and his guys in DPW, Chief Plumacher with the police, and all of our employees. They live here, they work here, they have great pride in their work, and they take an honest interest in it. And as the Council President was talking about, he was viewing neighbor helping neighbor. We have a really great group of employees working for the borough. As I've said before, we're in the service business. That is the business we're in. It's not a complicated business. You just do your best to give good service. So that being said, everyone in the borough, with a special emphasis on DPW and the first responders, job well done. Well done. You make us proud, whether it's a heavy snowstorm, a blizzard, a hurricane. You're truly, truly remarkable people. And as the mayor of some tenure, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. That being said, we will go to the BA.
Excuse me, Mayor, I got one more question for Jay, if I can ask Jay a question.
Go ahead.
I've had some resident concerns on Cross Avenue. They want to know when the completion of the road is. Camretta's, saying that his business is really going down because people can't even have access to this road. And the same thing with Costa Verde, if we can meet with them or something, or engineering can meet with them to tell them what we're going to do with the road, because nobody knows anything now at this point.
Because of the weather, that's why it hasn't been completed. The developer was set to come in and try to do a temporary opening, but that hasn't happened because of the reason.
If you could just have somebody stop over there from your side, just to tell them what the progress is and when things are going to be happening. All right, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Just so you know, on the next agenda, there'll be a resolution regarding Cross Avenue in terms of us, how it's going to align with the state highway, and it's going to require the approval of the council, so we could forward that to DOT.
Okay, Glenn, if you would.
No, number 10, general discussion.
I'm sorry, general discussion.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax exemption for 41 Calliope Road in the amount of $1,733.07. 34 Willow Street in the amount of $2,747.13, 48 Merritt Ave in the amount of $5,785.01, 2 Nottingham Drive in the amount of $2,829.70, and 65 Laurel Street in the amount of $4,343.04.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract for communication services to Jaffe Communications of Cranford, in the amount not to exceed 40,000.
Any objections? Next item. Go ahead.
As an IT person, I want to know what it is that we're paying $40,000 for social media consultant services to do.
They produce and manage all of our outgoing social media. That's not so much Facebook, but Instagram and things that we do on the website. They also handle the weekly mayor's message that goes out. They compile all of that. They're also responsible for handling press inquiries and dealings with the press.
Okay, so they're the ones who handle our website too?
No, no, the website is a different vendor that we're getting ready to switch, and that'll be coming up shortly, and we'll be having a discussion about that.
Yeah, because that was, okay.
Okay. Next item.
I'm not in favor of this. I wasn't in favor of it last year.
Okay.
This is excessive, like 40,000 for the social media consultant. This is more than the culture arts budget,
More than what?
more than what culture arts is budgeted. For Facebook posts? Everybody agrees with this?
Well,
40 grand?
well, cultural arts people are usually very creative, so maybe
Why not give it to them?
that's a good idea. I'm just saying, based on what I see in terms of our site, there's nothing impressive that will cost 40 grand, but
Okay. You should talk to them. They do the city of New Brunswick, they do Woodbridge. They do a fair amount of work throughout the state. It's a large company as far as this kind of company goes. So that being said, I would recommend that you call them up and say, explain to me what is it you do for the borough?
I mean, I follow
We had nothing.
Mhm.
So now we're a town of the size we are, 45,000 people. And it's all about, this is a service business. The last thing you want is a vacuum. And they try to fill the vacuum.
no, Mr. Mayor, I understand that. I just said, I'm just saying that they could do better, then we could get better service than what we're getting now, based on what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying not to, of
I
course.
would recommend you call Mayor Cahill of New Brunswick, Mayor McCormick of Woodbridge. Ask them how they feel about it.
Okay.
Ask them if they're satisfied.
My problem, I said it last year, I'll say it again. A lot of their postings are generic in nature, and they're charging every one of these towns to do it. They're producing it once, and every town's getting a lot of the generic messaging.
Okay.
Just
Next,
don't see any value on it. Think that we're overpaying. That's a lot
Okay.
of money.
okay.
$40,000.
Yep. The last administration had a person here on staff for, I think it was 40,000. And she was like the communication officer. 20? Well, then it explains a lot. It
Isn't it?
was more than that.
And then there was other things thrown in there, like the website and stuff.
Okay.
She helped design the website. Yeah, well,
No,
terrible. I can't.
Okay, we take a look, ask around, like I said, call New Brunswick.
but is this something
Well,
that you'd be
uh,
open to have somebody from internally, like maybe take care of and cut that cost?
You can do a lot of things.
Right. I'm just suggesting that
Let's see how the vote goes tonight. It's always, you got a lot more meetings, Alberto, to work on this.
okay, that's just, it just jumped at me, you know, that.
Yep. Okay, next item.
Authorization to accept and adopt the Central Jersey Joint Insurance Fund's 2026 Safety Incentive Program.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to affirm the borough's civil rights policy as required by CGIF for the Safety Incentive Program.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase office furniture for the finance office from Paramount Facility Management Solutions through NJ State contract in the amount not to exceed $32,862.27.
Any objection? Next item.
I'm sorry, I just want to go back just one to the civil rights policy. I mean, I was around when that was developed, so I know it. But maybe you could make sure that the Dunham Council people get a copy of it before we have to vote on it at the next
I'll
meeting.
make a note to have Meadow.
Thank
She's in charge of JIF, so
I appreciate it. Thank
not a
you.
problem.
Next item.
Authorization to purchase carpet for the finance office from LBJ Interior Solutions through ESCNJ contract in an amount not to exceed $30,436.35.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to award a contract for a grant writing consultant to BRS Inc. of Medford Lakes in an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Any objection? Next item.
Discussion on amendment to Wrecker towing fees.
Glenn?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I was.
The record fees.
Oh, I'm sorry. So some time ago, we got correspondence from the Sayreville Towing Association, Wrecker Association. They did an analysis of our current rate structure that they're allowed to charge for doing towing as a licensed entity in the municipality. They've proposed that we increase those fees on their behalf. It would require amending the current ordinance, and we're looking for permission to cobble something together so we could have that in front of you and introduced at the next meeting.
Any questions?
I read and looked into that, and I had my own towing back in the day. Now it's $1 million insurance. The trucks cost $150,000. I don't see any problem with raising the rates of Sayreville towing to be competitive with the other towns local to us.
John?
No, the only comment I was going to make is we did request a comparison of local towns that were contiguous to us to see what their fees were. And in fact, some of the fees that they're suggesting are actually lower in some
That's
cases.
correct.
So they're much in line with what the other towns are doing right now.
Definitely.
Hervé? Okay. Alberto? Mike? Mary? Okay.
Authorization for the tax collector to cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% tax exemption for the exemption of land for Sayreville Housing for Seniors Corp.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization for the borough clerk to advertise for the receipt of sealed bids for abandoned and unclaimed motor vehicles.
Any objection? Next item.
Request to travel received from Morgan Hose and Chemical Company to attend New Jersey Volunteer Chiefs Meeting on February 8th in Homedale, June 4th in Manawan, October 11th in Secaucus, and December 13th in Piscataway.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase one Pierce model Sabre pumper fire truck from Fire and Safety Services in an amount not to exceed $1,009,334.92.
Any objection?
Authorization to purchase extrication equipment for the fire department through a non-fair and open process from Task Fire of Brick in an amount not to exceed $32,116.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase two 2025 Ford Utility Interceptor vehicles for the police department from Winter Ford through NJ State contract in an amount not to exceed $86,486.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase one 2026 Ford F-250 pickup truck for the police department from Winter Ford through NJ State contract in an amount not to exceed $62,584.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase equipment for new police vehicles from Elite Vehicle Solutions.
Any objection? Next item?
Coin toss received for Washington and Ernst Roads from Saraville Junior Bombers football and the cheer.
Any objection? Public Works.
Request received to have the skate park dedicated to and named for Troy Jankowski.
Any objection? Next item?
I just want to push this out a little bit to try to recognize, to see if we have anybody else to recognize for the skate park, which has been pretty, for our community. It's a big place. It's been, welcoming and everything else. There's a lot of people that worked on this, so I'd like to do it right. If it's okay with the rest of the council, with your permission.
Any comments? Any comments?
Just for clarifying, I think, because you didn't hear, Jim, Mike had asked that the recipients of that dedication be expanded to all those that were involved with the creation of the skate park, to include Troy.
Anybody else?
I'm confused. So this is to name the park, correct?
The skate park.
Right, to name the skate park. So it's just one name, not is, right?
Troy Jankowski
Yeah,
just passed away.
I understand. So this is to name the skate park after him.
Correct.
Okay.
Confused. I don't really, Mike, did you want to just have a list of all the people that were involved since the beginning and have a name of everybody? Was that what you wanted? One is the council.
And are successful. So, you know, you name a person, yes, they were the student. But.
Can't hear you, Mike.
So I know Troy was instrumental in the skate community, helping the children and all. This was a very successful project. So do we want to name it after one person, or do we like to put a couple of people in the dedication of the skate park? So that's all. I just want to ask the council if they agree, they
You know
don't
what?
agree.
I'd kick
But
it-
Troy was
I'd
very
bring it
nice.
Back to the rec department and ask their opinion and their input,
That's all.
right?
Yeah, without offending anybody else, you know. Okay,
How many people are we talking about? I'm just asking because
I don't know yet. I'm still doing the research.
As I recall, there were 3 people that really pushed for and managed that process.
Okay.
Troy is the only one that is departed. The other 2 were still alive.
And I think this is really because he is departed, we're just honoring him. And I was there, I raised the money for the skate park. And then we let it was Troy Jankowski, Rich Robilotti, and there was a teacher from the middle school who coached, the kids play roller skate hockey. And they just did a magnificent job. At the time that it was built, it was voted in the skate park world as the best skate park. It was a 10,000 square foot skate park.
It was a concrete.
And it was voted the best, but
And
they all took a very great public interest in it. So I think this is being done posthumously because Troy was one hell of a man. And they all were that were involved in it. But it was like when you did the Ust recreation field, there were a lot of people in it. the Buchanan Waterfront Park. There were a lot of people and a lot of years that had a lot to do with that. Sometimes you just can't fit it all on a plaque.
That's why I was asking how many people.
Yeah, you
And
know.
also, that park is the most popular event in the park.
Beg your pardon?
The most popular event, that, because it's always full there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When we first, when that was first built, I had mothers stop me in ShopRite and say, you know, this is the greatest thing. Their kids played on there till they collapsed, you know, their legs turned to rubber. It's really been very popular in the borough.
Try pickleball too.
That's probably more
Well, that's
popular.
more for older people.
No, but the kids,
Yeah.
after a while, they play that too. Because
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been watching.
Well, you got 5 kids, so
Yeah, well.
you got
We were
first, you got,
even in the League of Municipalities. They did a big,
what's that?
we were in the League of Municipalities. They did a big story when we did our skate park.
Yeah, yeah. But again, the three people that really were the point people were Troy Robelati, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the middle school teacher's name, but they did a fabulous job. So, Mike, if you would, bring it back to recreation, because it does fall under recreation.
Will do,
and
Mayor.
get their input.
Will do.
Maybe just have a plaque kind of, instead of naming the park after him, dedicating the park the way we did to Matt Winston for the Miller's Corner Park. Because he loved that park and always took care of it, so we put
Loves
a plaque
Saraville.
update. So, you know, what I'm saying,
Let's see what
a lot of times
recreation
you do
says.
to-
Let's bring it back to recreation and see what they say. Okay,
Authorization to award a contract to GBC Inc. of Millburn, New Jersey to patch and paint the stairwells, handrails, and door frames at Borough Hall through Monmouth Ocean County Co-op in the amount not to exceed $17,493.45.
any objection?
Authorization to purchase roll-off containers through a non-fair and open process from Conshohocken Steel Products in an amount not to exceed $17,910.
Any objection?
Authorization to purchase one Legacy Series brine maker from Cliffside Body Corp. of Fairview through Sourcewell contract in an amount not to exceed $30,285.09.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase playground equipment for the Major Drive Playground from MRC Game Time through ESCNJ contract in an amount not to exceed $61,976.70.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a contract to the B&W Construction for the milling, paving, and striping of the MacArthur Avenue lot across from St. Stan's, pickleball court lot, and connector road behind Borough Hall in an amount not to exceed $158,505.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase one 2026 F600 chassis 4x4 truck for the road department from Route 23 Auto Mall in an amount not to exceed $88,755.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase brine tanks with valves and fittings from Reed Systems through the Bergen County Co-op in the amount not to exceed $38,093.95.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization for the QPA to advertise for the receipt of bids for HVAC and boiler equipment maintenance, repair, and replacement.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to scrap vehicles which are no longer needed for public use and are no longer of value to the borough.
Any objection? Next item.
Discussion on Human Relation Commission ordinance.
What is that?
We have a commission called the Human Relations Commission. And it's kind of doing nothing because there's been a lack of people volunteering to serve on it. I'm going to put you in charge of reviving it.
Of nothing, right?
Put Hervé's name by that. Hervé's going to
So we
bring
need
it
to
back.
change, so we need to make the amendment to make it an odd number of members.
Yeah.
For, so there's no tie or anything. So that was the only change.
Go ahead. But it really needs members. And they, depending on who the leader is, they really do a great service for the borough.
Like, I think next month they host Black History Month at the library, I don't know what else.
Not to load you up, Hervé, but if you ask a question, I do the same thing with people that come to the podium. If they have a passion, I put them in charge.
Okay. Authorization to award a contract to build a pole barn at the Active Adult Center to Dutchman Contracting in an amount not to exceed $143,378.
Any objection? Next item.
The back corner of the parking lot behind this museum, it's a pole barn to accommodate the seniors' buses and keep them out of the way. And it's being funded through federal money through CDBG.
Next item.
Authorization to award a contract for lighting at the Sayreville Little League Field to Musco Sports Lighting through ESCNJ contract in an amount not to exceed $279,885.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase one Peterbilt dump truck for the Water Department from Mid-Atlantic Waste Systems through Sourcewell contract in an amount not to exceed $286,030.
Any objection?
That's-
Okay. Business Administrators Report.
Authorization to promote Joe Cabarra from laborer 1 to laborer 2 in Public Works retroactive to July 1st.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote John Smith from laborer 1 to laborer 2 in the Public Works Department retroactive to November 1st.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to hire Andrew Foster as a full-time dispatcher in the Police Department effective February 1st, 2026.
Any objection? Would you do Danielle's report?
I will, but first I have one add-on, Mayor, that isn't listed. Listening tonight with the microphone issues again, and Mrs. Novak's comments a couple meetings ago about how hard it is for all of you to carry on a conversation here on the dais. I'd like permission to at least start exploring how we can reconfigure up here and get some updated audio equipment to make the meetings go a little bit more smoothly, and we could present that as part of the capital budget as we move into
Any
the year.
objection? Okay. Would you do Danielle's?
I will. We need a resolution for a budget transfer
Any objection? Next item.
and authorization to release escrow for C&W Infinity LLC in the amount of $1,203.
Any objection? Okay. Borough Engineer.
I'm sorry, what is that? You don't know.
I think it has to do with leftover escrows that's left in the account.
It's a liquor store on Route 9 that went before the board, and this is leftover escrow fee.
Borough Engineers Report, Jay.
Thank you, Mayor. One item, the environmental remediation work at the Borough Hall Annex is complete. Just looking for a resolution closing out that contract.
Any objection? Borough Attorney's Report.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Public portion. Any comments or questions? Jim?
Thank you for inviting me to make comments or questions. Jim Robinson, Parlin. First, I want to congratulate everyone involved in managing the storm. As always, the employees and the volunteers did a great job. You know, people forget that the first aid squad folks, fire folks, they have to be there in case they're called out. Stash, you are completely on point with what you said about parking. I know I got a call from somebody in my district about Jackson Avenue couldn't be plowed properly. And especially if we get more snow over the weekend, which I hope we don't get, that'll really be a problem because we haven't been able to plow as well as the folks would like to because of the cars that were there. How many roll-off containers are we buying for $18,000 and what size are they?
Glenn, do
I
you know?
don't know.
You don't know? Okay, but because I saw that on the agenda and I just thought, well, it ought to really be more clear. There are not a lot of questions. We went through this and the mayor says, any objection? There aren't a lot of questions raised about things. And that's not a big one, but the question that Alberto raised about, can we describe things better? You know, I happen to know the block and lot for Crossman Avenue that was on the agenda. I'm going to bet I'm the only one in this room who did know that. So somebody looking wouldn't know that. So we really can do a better job in describing things. Councilman Colucci talked about the 250th anniversary. It's also the borough's sesquicentennial. And I haven't heard a lot about that. And when we talked about this at Open Space, and Nicole wasn't born then, when we had our bicentennial, or the town had its centennial, but we had a committee It wasn't done by the Recreation Department, although John McCormick headed it. We had a committee from the Board of Education, from the Historical Society, from a lot of groups. They had a book, they had a costume ball, they had a parade, they had a fireworks display that was amazing. And I would very strongly suggest, you want to get people involved, it's important to celebrate the country's birthday. It's important to celebrate the borough's birthday. So I would suggest that we have a committee of folks to focus on the borough and its anniversary. Councilman Blumer, I want to thank you for your comments about the Sunshine Biscuit redevelopment and can a bus depot go there? I raised that a couple years ago, before I knew you, when Hanover came in. And I said to them, what about a bus depot? And they told me they didn't have enough space. Well, Joe, you indicated they're scaling back. They're down 140, 190, 150,000 square feet. These folks, I assume, are going to get a pilot. They're going to ask for a pilot, which is basically a favor. We're in litigation with the borough over a bus depot. This wouldn't require, I mean, part of the issue with the bus depot is $500,000 to take down trees. This wouldn't require any trees to be taken down. And the mayor mentioned, I don't know if legally all those tractor trailers are parked there. I'm not so sure about that part. But there are between 70 and 100 tractor trailers that are, certainly we could fit the buses there. So before this comes back, I would very strongly suggest, especially if we're going to give them a pilot, which is a favor, which is a tax break, and which means the school board, which is now getting money from Sunshine Biscuit or whatever that's called now, New Jersey Technology or whatever, they're now getting money. When there's a pilot, they won't be getting money, although there might be a hold harmless there. I'm not sure. But this would be a way to benefit the Board of Education and save, first of all, end this ridiculous litigation and save a lot of money. So I would really suggest that you do that. I did want to ask about the $280,000, the lights at the ball field. Did that go before the planning board, and did the borough, did the neighbors have any opportunity to comment on that? Did traffic safety talk about it? Because I know last time when they installed lights at the park, traffic safety had some concerns. Is there any public input into that? And did it go, it's required to go before the planning board under, what is it, Joe, section 31?
Jim, thank you.
Is it section 31 of the law, the capital? Go before the planning.
Under certain circumstances.
31, right?
Under certain circumstances, yes.
That should go before the planning board so that there is a public hearing, so that the neighbors can come and comment, so that they can see if this, like, I'm all in favor of sport connectivity, but we want to make sure that this is done in a way that accommodates both the players and the neighbors. I know the folks in the mayor's neighborhood, Woodside had some.
Thank you, Jim.
Last time. You're welcome, Mayor. And one other.
Jim,
question.
no, your time is up. Thank you, Jim. Hey, Jim, turn it off.
Dollars on trucks.
Oh, it's off.
Pumpers and things
Okay,
like that.
okay.
Where is that?
Jim,
fire engine
I'm going to
going?
ask you to sit down. You're being rude to everybody else.
$1 million fire engine is
Yeah,
going, Mayor.
Jim,
That-
Jim,
I'm not being rude.
you
That's-
can talk incessantly, as you proved with the
Where is
last
that fire engine
administration.
going?
Thank you, Jim.
Does anybody know?
Thank you, Jim.
I will find out and let you know.
Please-
Nobody knows?
Morgan.
Morgan. Very good. I'm very happy for the folks in Morgan. I'm very happy you're doing that. Thank you for answering that question. That's what a public official should do, Mary. You should learn
Go
something.
ahead. Is there anyone else? Val? Val, I got to tell you,
Yes,
when
just
I
a
was
quick- no, I won't see
when
this
I was
long.
running for reelection, people came to me and they said, make them stop talking. Anyway, how can I help you, Val?
Okay, just for the record, Valentine Tar, 27 Yorkshire Place, Parlin, of course. And for the record, I am a member of the Board of Health, the rent leveling and open space also. So I'm very active in town. I got a couple questions for, the one main question I got. I've been snow plowing for a private contractor, and I'm out there, and I notice our borough trucks, I I believe Washington and Main Street are county roads. Am I correct with that? Why is our borough vehicles salting and plowing county roads when the county is doing same time? And who's paying for that?
All right, well, do you have a specific place where it was happening?
All of Main Street and all of Washington Road, because I back and forth doing different accounts that I had to do.
I can ask, I don't know, but
And our
Washington,
our big container units with salt, they're salting it and plowing those two roads. And not much later, 3 county trucks are following up with their orange trucks and they're doing the
we're
plowing.
gonna have to look into that and get back. I have no idea, but we'll ask the
Sure,
DPW
that's,
superintendent.
I'm sure that's a lot of money in salt and stuff that we're spending there. All right. One other thing, I want to compliment Stash over there on exactly one of the problems we got with on-street parking and when the snow removal. I got a problem on Yorkshire Place where I have a resident that is a commercial, he's a contractor, commercial contractor, and his daughter is got a commercial, and they're running the commercial business on a residential street. And their vehicles are still parked there, their trucks, there's 5 vehicles that are parked there, still covered with snow and have not been ticketed. Now, they were supposed to be ticketed for this fee. I got 4 vehicles in my house, right? And and I'm on the corner of Yorkshire, and you can see the flag flying 24/7 there. But my vehicles are on my lawn and my driveway, and I got everything cleared, right? And my neighbors across the street, I got them, they park, and they park on the grass across. And my other one, they double up. So I got them orientated. But this one down the street from us, he's unbelievable. It's that, and they're contractors' vehicles, they're big vans. And not only does he have them on the street, he has 3 of them in his driveway, the same thing. And
We'll have code and
it's
PD
K
look into that.
construction, K construction for the record. So that's it there. For all that, I want to compliment the road department and everything there. They did a fantastic job with our streets. I plow for a couple of ordinances in South Amboy and Perth Amboy, and we are hands down better than any of those towns. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Val.
Have a good night.
Is there anyone else? Anyone else with a question or comment? If no, I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?